The story begins in the vast silence of space. Stars scatter their quiet light across the void, and at the edge of a distant galaxy, inside a colossal hall, hundreds of alien beings gather. This is the Orion Council, the most powerful seat of decision in the Galactic Union. Here, representatives of countless civilizations meet, treaties are forged, and the future of the cosmos is shaped. But today, the agenda is unusual. A new civilization has appeared on their reports. A young race that has only just breached the barrier of faster-than-light travel. Their name is humanity. High Chancellor Vorian, a veteran of centuries and a member of a proud and ancient species, studies the report with his sharp, glowing eyes. A faint smirk spreads across his face as he addresses the chamber. This species spent its history playing with paper and metal toys, warring among themselves, and only recently stumbled into space. Are they truly worth our attention? The chamber ripples with laughter. For most of the council, Earth is an afterthought, a curiosity, primitive and irrelevant. But one voice dares to disagree. It is Admiral Surin, a strategist and warlord whose name is etched into the annals of galactic conflict. He rises, his voice calm but edged with warning. You underestimate them. I have studied their history. Time and again, their civilizations collapsed. Time and again, they rose stronger. They lack resources, yet their ideas are endless. Give them time, give them space, and they may become the greatest trial this council will ever face. But his caution is drowned in laughter. The decision is swift. Humanity is to be placed under limited observation. They will be watched, nothing more. No direct contact, no concern. The scene shifts to Earth. Inside Earth Command, deep beneath the surface of the planet, a secret meeting is underway. Around a steel table sit admirals, scientists, and policymakers. At the head of the table is Admiral Hayes, a stern leader whose life has been forged in the crucible of conflict. Beside him sits Drive, Evelyn Carter, a brilliant but often overlooked scientist whose unorthodox ideas have been dismissed too many times. Hayes speaks with quiet gravity. We all know we are not alone, and we know someone out there is watching us. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Silence fills the room. Then Drive, Carter opens a weathered folder and spreads blueprints across the table. The title reads, Project Aegis. Her voice carries conviction as she explains. We don't have the resources to match them. We don't have their fleets or their technology. But we do have something they don't expect. Ingenuity. We can take discarded wreckage, broken machinery, and forgotten relics, and forge them into something new. Something that's ours. Several officers burst into laughter. One general sneers. You want us to build a warship out of scrap metal? This is madness. But Hayes studies Carter's face, then looks around the room. His voice is steady, his decision final. When the world underestimates us, that is when we rise. Project Aegis will proceed. That is my order. Months pass. In orbit above Earth, hidden within the frame of an abandoned station, a secret project takes shape. Dozens of engineers and scientists work without rest. Old engines are salvaged, shattered hulls reforged, alien debris scavenged from forgotten battlefields. Piece by piece, a strange yet magnificent design emerges. Dr. Carter's eyes burn with unshakable determination. To her, this is not just a warship. It is the embodiment of human will, the refusal to surrender in the face of giants. Far across the stars, another session of the Orion Council convenes. A spy delivers his report. The humans are building something. We have detected energy signatures, but their technology is crude, their efforts insignificant. It will amount to nothing. High Chancellor Vorian laughs. Let them play. They are children pretending to be adults. But Admiral Surin's gaze hardens. His voice is quiet, meant more for himself than for the chamber. These are the children who will one day topple you. And then, at last, the day comes. The Aegis awakens, a vast warship of patchwork design, forged from a dozen alien technologies, stitched together by human hands. Its form is unconventional, its structure unorthodox, but its presence radiates defiance. It is ugly, it is imperfect, and it is alive. Admiral Hayes stands with Dr. Carter on the command deck, gazing out at their creation. Hayes speaks softly, his words carrying the weight of an entire species. This is our message to the galaxy. We may be few, we may be fragile, but we will never bow. And with that, the course of history begins to shift, for the galaxy had dismissed humanity as insignificant, but they were about to learn the truth, that true power is not born from wealth, or fleets, or even centuries of dominance. It is born from fire, from creativity, and from a spirit that refuses to die. And humanity had all three. After Admiral Hayes gave the order, the truth about Earth's secret project began to unfold. Its codename was whispered only in classified files, Erebus. The name came from Earth's ancient myths, tied to shadows and hidden power. But here, it wasn't legend. It was a weapon, one so secret that only a handful of people had ever known it existed. When Captain Morgan stepped into the underground hangar, his boots froze mid-step. Before him towered a starship unlike anything he had ever seen. At first glance, it looked like a patchwork monstrosity, stitched together from alien wreckage and discarded scrap. But as he drew closer, he realized the truth. It was brilliant, deliberate, and terrifyingly intricate. Every jagged plate, every system, every seam of welded steel carried the unmistakable mark of human ingenuity. "This is our last weapon," Morgan asked quietly. Admiral Hayes met his gaze with unflinching eyes. "Yes, and it will be the one thing that forces the Council to remember who we are. To never again underestimate humanity." Engineers swarmed the massive ship. Welding torches flared, casting showers of sparks. Hollow screens lit up with streams of calculations. At the center of it all stood Drive, Evelyn Carter, the lead scientist of the project. She caught Morgan staring and smiled faintly. "This ship is more than steel and circuits, Captain," she said. "It's our entire history, forged into one vessel. Every system carries the weight of sacrifice, every weapon is born from struggle. It is not just a machine, it is who we are." Morgan turned his eyes to the name etched deep into the hull. Redemption. Far away, the whispers of Earth's new weapon began to leak across the galaxy. Spies carried fragments of truth back to the Council of Orion. At first, alien leaders laughed. Humans had always been loud, stubborn, and reckless. But to think they could forge something out of refuse strong enough to challenge the galaxy. It was absurd. Yet when Council President Thelose received the first official report, unease flickered across his reptilian features. "A single ship," he said with disdain. "Do they truly believe one vessel can stop us?" At his side, however, sat Zorth, the Council's oldest surviving warrior, a veteran of countless wars. Her expression was grim. "You do not understand them. To humans, a ship is never just a weapon. It is a symbol, and when a people fight for a symbol, they will burn the stars before they surrender." The day of the launch drew near. Redemption was lifted from its underground cradle, transported to the vast orbital docks above Earth. Below, billions of humans looked skyward, prayers and hopes carried on every breath. Admiral Hayes addressed the planet in a broadcast that echoed across every city, colony, and outpost. His voice was steady, filled with iron. "This ship is not only our defense, it is our survival. If we stand today, our children will live free. If we falter, humanity will wear chains forever. Redemption is not just steel, it is every one of you." Crew selection was brutal, only the most resilient were chosen. Morgan was confirmed as captain. Dr. Carter took her post as chief engineer. Veterans, pilots, specialists, and ordinary men and women with extraordinary resolve filled the remaining positions. Each knew they might never return, but each swore the same oath: humanity would endure. When Redemption's engines roared to life for the first time, the orbital dock shook as if struck by thunder. Alien fusion cores, re-engineered with human modifications, produced a sound like no one had ever heard before. It was as if the old world and the new world screamed together, a battle cry carved into the void. In his log, Morgan wrote, "We know the galaxy stands against us. But history shows that the underestimated are always the ones who shift the tide. Victory does not belong to the powerful, it belongs to those who refuse to break." The Council of Orion could no longer dismiss the rumors. Thelose, enraged, ordered his fleets to strike before Redemption could even leave dock. Squadrons of alien warships streaked into Earth's orbit, weapons primed to erase the vessel before it drew breath. But humanity was ready. Hidden satellites came alive, orbital defense platforms flared, and the first battle began above Earth's skies. Inside Redemption, alarms screamed. Dr. Carter's hands flew across her console. Stability at 70%. Weapons are online. But Captain, the firepower it's more than we calculated. Morgan gritted his teeth. Good. Forward batteries. Lock target. Aim for the flagship. For the first time, Redemption unleashed its fury. Its cannons spat fire into the void, a barrage that split the black silence with devastating brilliance. An alien battleship, larger than a city, was torn apart in seconds, erupting into a storm of flame and shattered steel. Across Earth, a cheer erupted from billions of throats. In the command center, Admiral Hayes leaned forward, eyes locked on the view. His voice was quiet, yet unshakable. This is the beginning. The council reeled in disbelief. Never had they imagined a scrap-built monstrosity could tear apart their finest warships. President Thelose slammed his clawed hand against the council table, voice echoing through the chamber. Unacceptable. A slave species cannot be allowed to defy us. But Zorith only bowed her head. Her voice was low, but it carried like thunder. This is what I feared. The humans have found their symbol. And now, there is no turning back. Redemption was no longer just a vessel. For humanity, it had become hope. For the galaxy, it had become terror. That night, long after the battle's end, Morgan sat in his cabin, recording his log by dim light. His words were steady, but his eyes carried the weight of the galaxy. We are not blind. We know our lives are finite, our strength small against the tide. But if our sacrifice ensures humanity survives, then it is worth every drop of blood. One day, they will learn we are not just another species. We are human, and we will do whatever it takes to endure. The Redemption's voyage had only begun. But already, the galaxy would never be the same.